I madly race inside, suspecting that the lightning has punched a hole through the hull. I check all the compartments close to the mast, but there's no damage. Battery box is clean. There's nothing. It's just a relief, people. You know, you get that sick feeling in the pit of your stomach. Far out, but I mean, we're all good. I knew at least it was out back. I had to expose the bilge to see what was up. So as I was lifting the engine cover, I heard this torrent of water going in. It was just me, bilge pump handle, manual bilge pump, and go, and go, and go, and go. The bilge pump, it wasn't keeping up with it, so I've re-hosed to our salt water and freshwater pumps. The water level is going down. What? Oh. I went to turn on the motor. Then the alternator will charge the batteries. Situation stabilised, and then we can go jump in the water. Turn on the motor, it works. Thank goodness, because apparently sometimes after lightning strike, the motor will not work. Run back, look at the voltmeter, it's not charging. So the alternator has been fried. Now, the situation is this. I reckon I got about 10 or 15 minutes before the bilge starts to overflow. So in my mind, there was only one thing to do. I had to go in, find the hole and plug it, because it was only going to get worse. I am looking for any spot where metal from inside the boat comes out or is close to the water. Wow, that's a big hole. I can see two problems here. The immediate one is the holder filled, but I reckon a couple of plastic bags jammed under the flap will soon sort it out. A shark. This anchorage has plenty of sharks wanting an easy meal. With any luck, I won't be on the menu, but I really can't worry about that right now. I've got a job to do. Another shark. I'm becoming quite popular. This is special tape that works on wet surfaces. I haven't used it before, but I'm really keen to do the best job I can. I had rubbed away some of the slime so the tape would stick better. It stuck, but it wasn't great. After that, I should have realised that the magic tape idea was rubbish and just left it as is. This anchorage has a few bull sharks, and with me wasting time like this, it is only a matter of time that they show up and come and say hello. And then I stuffed it up completely. The sticky tape stuck to an edge of the plastic bag as I went past it, and I accidentally pulled the bag out of the hole. There's only one thing for it now. And then I shoved it all in the damn hole. That was a bit startling, but it doesn't matter. I don't have to go back in. So the situation seems to be saved, albeit through my incompetent efforts. Don't get me started, people. When I was doing the editing, I was yelling at myself. I get fixated on this tape idea, even though it's slimy and it's an ablative paint. Look, I should have just left it the plastic. I mean, far out. But anyway, I did what I did. Now it's really jammed in. So I'm really keen to see how little water is coming in, because, I mean, there can't be much. So I dump the gear, I come back in, lift the engine hatch. It's like I did nothing. It's still pouring in. It's the same amount coming in. And the bilge is filling, and I'm going, bilge handle, manual bilge pump, start pumping. And I'm pumping, and I'm thinking, what could it be? It's got to be another hole. I mean, what else could it be? Now, I was smarter this time. I don't know if you saw, I had the difficulty in the first repair job, but I had the torch in my hand. It's a real pain in the ass, especially with that sticky tape. Not that I was going to use that anymore. And that's what caused the problem, that I couldn't actually manipulate things properly. Now, I have a GoPro Lite. And I thought about it. I'd only just used this 3 days previously. So I took off there you go. I took off the GoPro, stuck this on, get the gear together. I got another plastic bag. There's already another plastic bag in the boat still, and went in. Big breath. Did 2 circuits. Nothing. Clean. No hole at all. Oh, this can't be right. Another breath. Then I did 2 more circuits. This time the opposite direction, just in case I couldn't see it from that other direction. Nothing. Dinghy, boat, dump the gear. I'm thinking, this is becoming a puzzle. This is crazy. Get in, doesn't matter. Bilge pump handle, manual bilge pump, and pump. And think, and pump, and think, and pump, and think. And I went, right, we had an explosion down below. Maybe there's an explosion at the top. Newton's third law. To every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. High school physics, people. It's good to pay attention. So, it's actually under the box where my feet are hanging on. Lift up the box, but I was wrong again. But I wasn't wrong by far in distance, because about this far away, the water, believe it or not, it looked like it was materializing out of nothing. It was pooled underneath the bellows of the PSS shaft seal, and it looked like it was just coming from the pool. And I can see into the pool, there's no hole to the bottom, or there's no hole that I can see the water coming from. It's like a vortex from hell. But I shoved my hand in, and it wasn't coming from the water, it was coming from the underside of the bellows, and it had a big friggin' hole in it. Problem solved. I put my hand on it, stopped it, and then started thinking, and thinking, and thinking. The bilge had filled up a bit, but I'm still thinking. It's only dribbling now, and I'm going to get this right. I haven't got much right tonight, but I'm going to get this right. And this is what I did. This is a dripless shaft seal. Now, as you can see, there's hose clamps on either side, and they're offset by 180, and they're a bit knobbly, those screw fittings, and it's going to be difficult for me to get my own hose clamps on it. But if I set them obliquely, then, and I bed them in, say, butyl tape, then maybe we can get a good seal. So, the first thing I did is I put down 2 layers of butyl tape obliquely along the bellows. Then I got some flex tape, and I cut it in portions with a generous overlap, and I started putting it around. Now, the first layer was terrible, the second was better, and it was getting better and better. And I did 4 layers and a little bit I put on at the end. Now, with the hose clamps, I have a whole box of hose clamps. In fact, I've got 2 boxes of hose clamps. You have to open them, of course, and then put them on. Now, normally, they're a real bugger to then start rethreading. Well, would you believe it? The first one was a charm. That second one, my goodness, it was trying my patience. But once I got it on and I started screwing them up, the drips almost disappeared. In fact, we got about 3 or 4 drips a minute, which is about 1 or 2 litres an hour. Much better than 3,000 litres an hour. Problem is solved. You hear that, people? Nothing. Silence. The bilge alarm Stopped about 5 minutes ago. What a lovely sound. This is where I spent the greater part of this early morning. There's the bilge pump. Him and me are buddies, yes. We're going to call it Bob because it saved us, and Bob saved us before too. The problem has been solved.